It hasn't started. It has started.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Infinitum Day 1 session preparing for college admission for for the class of students 12th. Now, I, Shilpi Mukherjee, on behalf of Mrs. Reena Rajpal, Principal DLDAV Model School, Shalimar Bagh, welcome you, sir. Now, dear students, please let me take the privilege to introduce Mr. Prikshit. Now, Mr. Prikshit is a Chief Strategy Officer at Mindler, professionally trained from Harvard University. He is one of the leading life coach, motivational speaker, and career coaches in the country. With over 20 years of experience, he has mentored and trained more than 2 million students across domain and regions. He is an accredited he is an accredited MBTI and FIROB and has blended the use of these instruments in training sessions for teachers and principals. He is single-mindedly guided by his passion about educating the youth to build a better India. His insights on human behavior and approach to learning from one's life brings him to us today. Now, I request you, sir, to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. 1 second. Right. Good afternoon, everyone. So I believe I read Infinitum Education Fair. And dear students,
Shilpi ma'am, you have to mute your mic, please.
Yes.
thank you. I'm made to believe that you'll be interacting with a lot of universities as far as your the education fair is concerned, or the university fair, okay? So when you'll be meeting these universities, and especially if I'm a 12th class student in the month of August, all right, how do I go about preparing for college admissions or even choosing universities, all right? How do I go about? Wherever you have a question, please feel free. If there is a chat that you're using or you want to unmute yourself, whoever is coordinating the platform will be able to guide us. Let's look at, there are 3 ways, dear students, just to...
Excuse me, sir, I have to interrupt, sorry. Sir, the students are not supposed to write anything on the chat box. They have to communicate the things with you on after unmuting themselves.
Great.
Okay, sir?
Thank you. Thank you. So if there is a question, please feel free to unmute yourself and talk to us. My colleague Abhishek is also with me, and both of us will try and answer all your questions. So, dear students, as far as there are a few things which are very important for you right now. Number 1 is you have to understand which way you will be looking at the universities. Number 1, many universities in India will be interested in your 12th class board exam result, right? And second is they will be looking at your entrance exams, which means you will be able to make it by cracking the entrance exams. For example, if you are thinking of IIT JEE or NEET or national law schools or NIDs, NIFTs, design, NDA, whatever be the case, undergrad business management, and you'll be looking at cracking those entrance exams. The third is many liberal education universities and other private universities, they will have different criteria for selection. Many of them could be looking at your 12th class marks. Few of them will be interested in your 9th, 10th, 11th class marks. Many of them will have what is called aptitude test, interview, case study, group discussions, various ways of onboarding and selecting you, right? Now, so what am I expecting from a 12th class student in the month of August is that most of you would know where you're going. I repeat, most of you should know by now whether you have absolute clarity on careers, yes or no, no problem. But you need to know what program are you going to continue after 12th, which means what program are you going to study post your class 12th. Whether you're a science student or a commerce student or a humanities student, or you've got mixed of, any combination, you should know what program you're going to study at undergrad. Number one. Number two, when I talk about program, do I understand the difference in the curriculums or the course nomenclature? For example, I am doing BBA. I am doing BBA honors or a BBA finance, BBA logistics, BBA petroleum energy, BBA digital social media. No. Do I understand the difference between BSc economics and a BA economics? Do I understand the difference between BA psychology, BSc psychology? What if I do a 3-year program undergrad, or I do an integrated 3+2 5-year program at an IIM? Okay, hold on. What am I wanting to know from a university? For example, how do you select a university? Do I select a university on the basis of just the ranking or faculty? What kind of faculty members are teaching at that university? What about the industry and academia collaboration, which means how much of a contribution the regular industry makes with the curriculum as well as teaching pedagogy? I'm looking at internships, placement opportunities. What kind of companies come to those universities? Okay, what kind of organizations will give us job opportunities? What about library, infrastructure? What about research and development facility, labs? What about chance to pursue my hobbies or interests? What about, can I get to play sports at the undergrad level? At the university, is there a music possibility, art, theater, whatever you want to do at the college? Because college is a very, very important and integral part of your life. So whatever you want to do there. So there are a lot of things that you have to look at. This is from a university or a course perspective. Next. So as a 12th class student, number one, do I know which course I'm pursuing? Number two, have I looked at what I'm going to be taught for next 3 or 4 or 5 years? Second, which way I'm selecting universities? I've already talked about it. Next, what is the eligibility and selection criteria? For example, there are certain universities. I'm giving an example. Can you tell me what example should I take? Anyone? Pick up finance, management, law.
Law.
Okay, you want me to take law as an example. All right. And don't worry. I mean, even if you want me to take more examples, I'll be more than happy. So for example, I'm a 12th class student. I want to do law in India. Okay, I'm just talking about India right now. So I'll be like, okay, law. So I want to make it to the topmost national law schools in the country. So there are only 2 exams, all right? One exam is called CLAT, and the second exam is ALET. ALET is for National Law School Delhi. That's the only one. And rest of the national law schools, you will take an exam called CLAT. Very good. This is for the national law schools. What are the other good institutions in the country? So I will write another exam called LSAT India. LSAT India is another exam which 40-50 universities will look at that exam. Then you have Christ University, Symbiosis. You have Maharashtra CET, ILS, GLC, Government Law College, Indian Law Society. You will look at IP University and many other institutions. All right, great, very good. Now, this is all about which exams I'm going to take. Now, the next question is going to be, what is the exam pattern of all these exams? Now, if GK is an area of concern, if legal aptitude is an area of concern, so they will be testing me on 4 aptitudes, okay? Listen to this. Number 1 is English. English meaning vocabulary, grammar, reading comprehension. Thank you. Math, 9th and 10th class math. Third is going to be analytical and logical reasoning. Fourth is GK. Fifth element, which law schools test, is something called legal reasoning or legal aptitude. Now, these 4 areas that I've talked about, they will be, which is math, English, reasoning, and GK. This will be applicable to every possible entrance exam that you will look at. Next. Now, how do I differentiate between which exams and how to prepare? So LSAT does not have legal aptitude or GK. So therefore, if you are a student, English is your strength. And when I say English, meaning reading comprehension and critical reasoning is your strength, then what will you be looking at? LSAT India. If speed is your friend and you have got a great grip, ALAT is going to be another amazing course. If reading comprehension is your strength and so is GK, more importantly, English and GK, legal aptitude, then you should be looking at CLAD. As far as SIMBI and CHRIST are concerned, CHRIST and SIMBI are easier papers to crack. MHCT, another very easy paper to crack, but the problem is that's Maharashtra. So Maharashtra will have, a Maharashtra quota and other quotas come in. So therefore, the seats will be limited. You also have Narsi Monji conducting their own exam. IP University is a much easier exam to crack than the next stage. Will I be looking at their past year papers? Yes. Will I be looking at material? Yes. Will I be looking at mock test series to crack and then structuring your approach to cracking it? Now, anyone can crack CLAD. Anyone can. But most important is how difficult it is to make it to NLSIU Bangalore, Nalsar Hyderabad, Kolkata, Jodhpur, Bhopal. Excuse me, you have to be ranked 60, 65 to make it to Bangalore. 150, Nalsar Hyderabad. 300, NUJS. About 400, 450. So therefore, you need to prepare accordingly. Vanchita, have I answered that question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other different level of preparation? You want to pick up any other question? Just like I helped Vanchita with law. Anyone who wants to talk, please? Kanika, go ahead.
Firstly, thank you so much, sir, for such an informative topic that you took. That law topic, it's too relatable. Sir, I have a cockeyed view on this national law universities, but the basic thing that I'm not able to deal with, firstly, you mentioned that 12th class result is also equally manageable, and that I'm not able to. Like how to manage boards and this CLAT preparation with ALET, SLAT, LSAT, MHCT, so all kind of these.
Thank you. Thank you. Kanika, first things first. Now, look at us. We have a choice. Okay, all of us have a choice. The moment you look at these entrance exams and you're like, oh my God, so many of them, how do I prepare? You only have to prepare for 2 exams. Okay, listen to this carefully. You have to prepare for LSAT and CLAT. That's it. If you prepare for CLAT, you'll be ready. You'll be able to crack any other exam in the country as far as law is concerned. LSAT, why? Because LSAT is almost a copy of SAT. So therefore, your English and AR is the determining factor. And critical reasoning and reading comprehension and sentence correction, you have to be on top. So therefore, if you just prepare for these 2 exams, you can crack any other exam in the country. Number 1. Number 2. Kanika, just to help you with, we have 24 hours in a day. Simple, okay? 8 hours we are spending as far as sleep is concerned, okay? About 6 hours for online classes, am I right?
Yes, sir.
14 hours gone, we are left with 10. There is nothing I can do for these 14 hours. I have to sleep for 8 hours and I have to attend school, maybe on a Monday to Friday or a Monday to Saturday. Okay, we'll deal with the chutti day later. So I have 10 hours to play around with. On an average, 2 hours for bathing, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I'm left with 8 hours. Now I could have tuitions, right? Or assignments to be done. Take off another 3 hours. I'm left with 5 hours. Now I need some time to breathe, some time to bond, de-stress, maybe another 1 hour, or maybe 2 gone. I'm still left with 3 hours. This is on a Monday to Friday. Are you there with me, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now, these 3 hours
Yes, sir.
on an average, 3 hours, even if you have 3 hours every day, Monday to Friday, let's say you have school, you have 15 hours on a weekday. Thank you. Saturday, Sunday, supposing it's a chutti. Now, if it's a chutti, you have 6 hours of school that you're saving. Thank you so much. So, which means 6 and 6 on a Saturday, Sunday is 12. 12 plus 15 is 27. So, I have, let's say 25 to 30 hours per week. 25 to 30 hours means in a month you are saving about 100 to 120 hours, dear friends. 100 to 120 hours per month you have. In this, what do you have to do? You have to either prepare for your school or for your entrance exams. Now there is something called balancing act. Which are the important months? August, September, October, November is going to be board 1. Am I right? In the new thing. Then
Yes, sir.
September, Jan, Feb, March. All the entrance exams, for example, for law, will be after your school gets over, which is, say you finish the exams by March or April, provided COVID does not play havoc. Which means all these national tests will happen after your school, once your 12th is over. So therefore, if you ask me, can you plan and crack this? You can. The important part is time management. That's all. Now, second question. Kanika, what if law is your plan 1? Now, your plan 2 or your backup plan is, depending upon your subjects, maybe you could be a science student, commerce student, humanities student, whatever. His plan is, what if I want to do political science or business administration, or I want to be, I'll be looking at doing something in science. Depends. Each to your, each to his or her own. So therefore, you also need to know how important is 12th class marks from cracking national tests. Now, I'm not saying play down your 12th class marks. No. Why? But most of the entrance exams, they will not be looking at your marks. So whether you get a 98 in your board, or you get a 90, or you get an 80, it is immaterial. You have to crack the exam. That's the most important. For example, like you're preparing for, say, management, undergrad business management. Now, Narsimhanji says, and Delhi University say, you have to have math in your 11th and 12th. If you don't have math, bye-bye. You can't do BCom honors, you can't do Eco honors. Narsimhanji says you're not even eligible to write the exam. So I need to have math first, number 1. I don't have math, I can apply to many other colleges, number 1. Number 2, NMIMS says, whether you got a 65 or a 95, it doesn't bother me. Crack my entrance test, no interview, you're selected. IIM Indore and Rohtak says, hold on, you will first crack the entrance test, followed by an interview. But we'll also be looking at your 10th and 12th class score. We'll also be looking at, so they'll be looking at other things. So therefore, now, will 65 or 70 get me into these colleges? No, because 45% will be my entrance test, and roughly other percentage will be given to my 10th, 12th marks, and 15% will be given to my interview. Now, DU says, come and crack my exam, whereas 65% weightage will be given to entrance exam and 35% weightage given to your 12th class score. Xavier's Mumbai will say 60-40, 60 to entrance, 40. Now, Kanika, now listen to this carefully. So, I'm a student who's not performing well in school. So, will I be applying to these colleges where 40% will be taken from my 12th class? No. Your entrance exams, you get to choose your college. So therefore, why coach is required? Because with a coach or career guidance, what do you get to know? Understand me and understand where should I strike. You have to be very clear. You can't be like, oh, let me get 95 in 12th. Let me do IIT JEE also. Let me do economics and management exams also. You can't be all over the place. You have to be very, very strategic about your college planning. And that's where students make a mistake, because they don't give this due importance. They only start thinking, bus, let's get marks. Where will marks take you? Please look at 2021 result. 70,000 CBSE students got 95 to 99. ICSC tens of thousands, and there are 38 more boards. 40 boards. Imagine 1.5 to 1.7 lakh students having more than 95 to 99 marks. Do you understand the problem? Dear students, are you beginning to understand the problem? So all of us can't be trying to work, let's get 95, 96, 97. There'll be lakhs of them or thousands of them with those scores. You have to be very, very strategic. Where are you going? What kind of universities you're cracking? What is your plan A? What's your plan B? Now on top of it, entrance exam planning. Do you have the right resources? Do you have the right material? How are you proportionately preparing for them? Is it doable? Absolutely. Any other question, please? Kanika, I hope I've addressed that question of yours.
Yes, sir. I'm able to get my answer really well. Thank you so much.
Any other question, please? Before I move on to the, is there anyone else who wants to ask a question?
Vanshita has raised her answer. Vanshita?
Go ahead, please. Vanshita?
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask that do we have to do any extracurriculars to make a college application look good for law?
Yes, absolutely. So therefore, it depends.
Like what?
Yeah, I'll tell you. It depends first, Vanchita, which are those colleges where you're applying, all right? Now, if you're applying to a Delhi university, Pune, Bangalore, Kolkata universities, all right, they will only be interested in your 12th class exams along with an entrance test or an aptitude test if they have.
Sir, I'm looking forward to go to General University.
Yeah, I'm just coming there. I'm coming there only. So first is the conventional normal universities. Now, supposing you are looking at, say, an OP Jindal or a Flame University, Kriya, Shiv Nadar, or Ashoka, or NMIMS, Simbi Institute of Liberal Education, any other, all these universities, okay? Now, OP Jindal. Now, OP Jindal, OP Jindal has three ways. One is you're applying to law. OP Jindal will say, I'm not interested in anything. Crack LSAT and you're admitted. So I'm not interested in knowing your 12th score. I'm not interested in your profile. You get my point, Vanchita? Get yourself LSAT percentile you're in, as long as you're fulfilling the eligibility criteria. Do you understand, Vanchita?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, OP Jindal from a law perspective is only interested in your LSAT score. Now I'll tell you what should be your LSAT score. OP Jindal, over the years, the LSAT score has been increasing only. If you are able to get anything like an 80 percentile in your LSAT, 80 percentile, you are straight away admitted to the best amongst the institutions through LSAT, and OP Jindal happens to be the top one as far as LSAT is concerned. There are many more. So 80 percentile will straight away get you an admission offer from OP Jindal. Done? Now, second is you are looking at business management at OP Jindal or liberal education at OP Jindal. Now, similarly, you're looking at Kriya, Flame, Shiv Nadar, and Ashoka, whatever, all these colleges. Now they are interested in, number one, your profile. So whether you're applying to economics and entrepreneurship, or you're applying to a business major or a finance major, or sociology, psychology, history, political science major, or a computer science, biology, physics, chemistry major, now they will be asking for your academics in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Which ones? 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Your final year mark sheets. Next, they'll be looking at sports, dance, theater, music, Olympiads, internships, research projects, leadership, social community service. They will be wanting to know what's more to your personality, what's more to your profile. Now, you apply, you write your essays and you apply. Now they look at your profile and they say, wow, we like you. Thank you. Now we will do what? You will have to apply for many institutes will have a kind of an aptitude test. You crack that aptitude test and now you will be called for an interview. So it will be whether they will first conduct the aptitude test, then an interview, or they do it together. Each university will follow a different system. So therefore, this is where profiling is important. But a Narsimonji or a Simbi or any other IPMAT or IITs or NEET or National Institute of Design, they are not interested in your profiling. Yes, when you go to an art or a design school, for example, NID, NIFT, Srishti Bangalore, MIT Pune, Symbiosis Institute of Design Pune, Pearl Institute, Maragani, or USEED, right? Now, when you write for the entrance exams for them, they may ask for an art or a design portfolio. Otherwise, no. Do you understand? So therefore, students, this is a myth that, oh, I have to do well in my board exams. I also have to make great profile. I have to prepare entrance tests also. Don't go crazy. You have to know what are you hitting at. What's your target? And the problem is students these days, they are not spending enough time into first figuring out where are you going. Vanchita, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, everyone doesn't have to go for profile. Everyone doesn't have to go cracking 12th class or this thing. There is a method to the madness. And the sad part in our country is there is not enough importance given to career guidance. Career guidance, dear students, is very important. You should be knowing, by now you should have seen the universities. You should know which university will offer me scholarship chance, which university, what is the eligibility and selection criteria, which university the program is done. Like, for example, I don't know how many of you know that Shivnadar University will offer you a 4-year degree program vis-a-vis a 3-year degree program at other universities. Now, why do they provide 4-year degree program? You need to know, you need to understand that. Then, supposing I go to Narsimonji, does it give me a campus feeling? No. Narsimonji, I'll go in the morning, I'm finished by afternoon, you have the entire day to yourself. But I want a campus living. I have to look at a different university. Now, Narsimonji, which programs they are best known for? Do I go to NMIMS economics vis-a-vis OP Jindal or an Ashoka economics? So therefore, this requires so much of thinking, dear students, so much of fact-finding research. And if you're able to do this, you'll be safe. And now, just to give you an example, all right? Okay, first let me ask you more questions. Then I'll help you with something else. Any other question, please?
Sir, the LSAT exam that we give for the Jindal and all universities in India, that is the same exam that we have to give for like studying law abroad?
No, not at all. Not at all. That's called normal LSAT. You don't write that exam. You write LSAT India. There is a difference between LSAT India and LSAT abroad. You don't have to write LSAT. Yeah. Yes, good.
Excuse me, sir. Related to portfolio, there is a question from Mishti Sharma. Mishti Sharma, are you there? You
Go
can
ahead.
put up that question.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my question has already been answered.
All right. All right. All right.
Sir, I have one more question.
Yes.
Sir, like, if we don't want to pursue as a lawyer in the law field, how can we be as a legal professor then?
Absolutely. Very good question. Good. Now we are thinking. This is next level of thinking. One level is, what will I do? I will be a lawyer. All right. Next is, with law, what else can happen? With law, Mishti, you can add economics, and you can work with, whether you add economics or a finance or an MBA or developmental economics, public policy, international diplomacy, masters, you can go to teaching, you can be a professor, you can write books, you can be a publisher, you can get into legal process outsourcing, you can work with law firms, you can work with regular multinational corporations as an assistant manager legal, then moving on to manager, AVP, VP, director legal. You can be a writer, you can have law with company secretary, law with chartered accountancy, MBA I've already talked about, law and psychology, law and criminology, law and forensic science. There are about 47 plus legal fields, I mean, post-law, different fields without ever seeing a court of law. Mishti, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
But the problem is students do not look at this. That's what I'm trying to say again and again. I'm sorry, it's Ada.
Ada,
Yeah, go ahead, Ada. Yeah. Yeah, Ada. We are waiting. Okay, in the meantime, if Ada's not asking, Kanika, you could ask.
Yes, sir. Sir, there is one question popping out in my mind.
Yeah.
Basically, you touched the chord of those extracurricular activities.
Right.
So you said that I adore this thing that we don't have to do extracurricular if our particular college doesn't want. But what about those executive or judiciary interviews that we have to face in coming future? We have to do any extraordinary efforts for that particular or not?
Nothing, not at all. They will never be interested in your 9th and 10th, 11th class performances. And Kanika, please understand, what is the most important gift that man has, a human being has, is time, right? Kanika, tell me something. We are in the month of August. In the month of August, when November you have board 1, when you have applications, the liberal education applications starting in November, when you have to apply to international institutions and Indian institutions, now you also have your midterm coming in. You also have to prepare for your entrance exams. Will I ask you to prepare for your profile right now, Kanika? So,
Yeah.
will I ask you to add certifications and other things now? Are you there?
No, sir.
Thank you. Because time is the key. So right now, if you start working on, let me build profile, it is too late. Are you there with me? It is too late to build profile. So therefore, what will you do? Crack entrance tests. Make sure you get well, do well in your board exams if it is required. And third is, have your liberal education applications or entrance exams. Get cracking. Now your question is, but Parikshit, what if in life it is required? Will you go to a college? Will you go to a law college for 5 years or any other program for 3 to 4 years? That's the time when you need to develop your
Profile.
Extracurricular.
exactly right internships. So the second stage of your life is college. Do brilliant stuff in your college. Take part in everything, whatever comes naturally to you. Build your profile so that you do well, excellently well in the next stage of your life. Next question, please. Go ahead, keep asking.
Gauri Lekhi.
Sir, can you talk a little bit about psychology and like which colleges are best for studying?
Absolutely. So psychology again, 3 routes to psychology. Number 1, 12th class board marks. Now, Gauri, will I wait for my 12th class result in August or September next year or May? No. So therefore, second route is entrance exams. Christ has an entrance exam. Simbi has an entrance exam. Kriya, excuse me, OP Jindal, all these universities that we've talked about, all of them will have entrance exams and profile-based admissions. All right. So few will be straight entrance, few will be profile-based. You should, before you write your board exams, Gauri, you should have a conditional or an unconditional offer with you before you go to write board exams. So whether you got a offer from Flame, or you've got an offer from OP Jindal, or you've got an offer from any other university, make sure you have one offer with you, number 1. Number 2, when you write your board exams, you'll also be then writing the Simbis and the Christs and so many others. Make sure you have another offer from them. And finally, you will wait for your board result and then apply to other well-known universities. For example, Delhi University, look at LSR, IP College, JMC, and so many other well-known institutions. You cannot be waiting for the last month to say, I will get a 97.5 or a 98, because even a 97 may not guarantee you a psychology admission in Delhi University. Do you understand my point, Gauri?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Bhavyanshi has question, sir.
Go ahead.
Anshi?
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask that as you said that there are certain colleges which really need you to build a profile. So, I wanted to ask, is building a really good profile matters to get admission in Delhi University as such,
Not at all.
or it's only merit based
Not at
only?
all. Delhi University will not ask for. Delhi University will only ask if you're going through a ECA quota, which is extracurriculars. If that route you're taking, only then. Otherwise, it's going to be merit followed by for certain courses it's merit, and for other courses like mass media or undergrad business management, BE economics or BFIA. For a lot of programs, they also have something called an entrance test, which is called Delhi University entrance test. It's called Do It. They've just started. They've been doing it for last many years also in some form or the other. So you will have to crack Do It along with your board percentage. Next, please.
Pooja ma'am, your question, please.
Thank you. So there is one question from one of the students whose mic is not working, Harshit. He wants to know the procedure for admission in AFMC, and basically he wants to understand how to prepare for its interview.
Very good. Please understand. Remember one thing when you're looking at so when you're looking at an interview process, please read our blogs on how to do that. Number one. Number two, interviewing is a very different process. Okay, in interview there are 5 things that they're interested in, and I'm not talking about AFMC particularly because I will have to first do my research. What is last few years? What have they been asking for? Okay, but I will tell you, any interview process, the best interview, whether it is Harvard, Wharton, IIMs, you name anything, they are interested in knowing 5 things. Number one, why are you interested in this course? First thing, do you have proper knowledge? Why have you chosen this over others? Why did you not look at All India Institute of Medical Sciences? Why not going to private? Why defense? Okay, why here? Number 2, what is it about your skill set? Tell us, give us evidence of your skill set. Why should we choose you over others? Then you talk about your SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, threats, right? Complete assessment. Next, tell us about yourself. We want to know more about you. Now that is called the psychometric profiling. How do you deal with problems? Okay, what are regrets? What about the difficult situations you had? How do you motivate yourself? What are your motivators in life? Tell us about your family. Tell us about your this thing. So they are interested in knowing everything about you. Why medical profession? What is your exposure towards medical profession? What is your motivator for medical profession? What do you understand by medical profession? Where are you going 5 years, 10 years from now? Then they're going to ask you these things. And most importantly, your general awareness. If you are able to do these 5 things, my dear, you are good for anything. I hope that covers something.
But
right?
Can you please
Thank you. Next question, please.
Can you please also brief about group discussion to the students also, because there are a lot of courses where group discussion happens. So yeah.
Yes, that's right. So group discussion quickly, dear students. It's actually basically what ma'am's asked me is to finish something that will take two hours to explain. I'll finish it in 2 minutes. Okay. Now, group discussion is basically the difference between group discussion and debating is when I put forward my points and I try to gain points over my competitors. Group discussion is where they are basically, why are they seeing this? Is to see your group dynamics, is to see your team building skills, right? That's what they are more interested in. Next, it's called, they want to see how do you perform in a group? What about your content? How well do you put forward your points, but how well do you listen to others? Now, group discussions are of many kinds. It can be case study, it can be structured group discussion, unstructured group discussion. It can be abstract topics, it can be GK-based topics, it can be case studies, HR case studies, technical case studies. They also want to understand how concerned are you about leadership, taking others along? What about your voice modulation, your communication skills? So there are a lot of things that are seen. How do we practice? I'm sorry, in a COVID era because your school's not opening. So it will be very difficult for you to do group discussions live. However, speak to your coordinators, your career counselor, or your teachers, and if you can set up, whenever time permitting, if you can set up a Google Meet or a Zoom session along with your teacher, and you can prepare for a group discussion. Yeah, go ahead, please. Next question. Quickly, keep asking.
Nishchay Sharma.
Afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Are you there, Nishchay?
Sir, I wanted to ask that can I appear for a competitive exam and also do a regular college simultaneously?
Meaning.
Sir, I want to do BCom from a regular college and also
Right.
want to prepare for the CA exam.
I knew that question was coming. Nishchay, मैं अभी तक हैरान था ये question आया क्यों नहीं. Nishchay, a lot of universities will not allow you to do that. There are few universities which give you the scope to say pursue your CA and also do BCom side by side. But usually all the other universities will say either do chartered accountancy on regular basis, do BCom by correspondence, or do BCom first and then do your chartered accountancy after BCom. However, I'll also try and tell you, Nishchay, write to me. I'll share my email ID and I'll be able to guide you. Okay, I'll guide you properly how to do this. All right.
Yes, sir.
Next,
Thank you, sir.
important part is Nishchay. One more thing. A lot of students do this thing like, "Chalo, let's just go. Let's just do BCom and let's not tell them continue our articleship." But you please understand, 3 years of articleship is the most important area in a student's life. Do you understand that?
Yes,
And
sir.
therefore, when you do articleship, you cannot do regular college. Possibly nahi hai. So therefore, what students do is they do regular BCom and then they just do chalu kind of an articleship, get certificates and so on. It hurts in the later stages of life. Okay. So Nishchay, I'll share my email ID with you. Get in touch with me and I will explain the entire process, what will be the right thing for you to do. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Ada Goel. Are you there?
Ada, there's something wrong with your mic there. Yeah, go ahead, try. No, I can't hear you. Can you text your teacher or anyone? They'll ask me a question.
Till then, Aryan Garg.
Yeah.
Aryan Garg, please ask your question. Aryan Garg.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. My question is basically related to the engineering side since I'm a medical student.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice for non-medical students? Like I am currently targeting IIT and NITs, but what other options? Like what else do I have to do?
Good, very good question. Aryan, so if you're looking at engineering, are you looking at what form of engineering?
Computer science, basically.
Perfect. Aryan, if I were you, number one, I am preparing for my JEE. JEE, as you know, you'll be cracking JEE mains and then moving on to JEE advanced. Depending upon JEE advanced, 99.9 percentile. Depending on that, you will get computer science at one of the topmost IITs in the country. Number one. Number two, depending on your IIT main score, you will also get NITs, triple IITs, and so on. I would keep that as my plan A. I would also look at other private engineering colleges in India. For example, if it is going to be SRM main campus, Manipal main campus, Amrita, and VIT, and blah, blah, blah. I would also look at few other colleges in India where the specialization is computer science with machine learning or artificial intelligence or DevOps, cloud computing, IoT, along with it could be big data, right? It could be game design, depending upon which universities are giving you absolutely cutting edge research capability along with your computer science. So plan A is IITs, plan B will be all the other private institutions or triple IITs or NIITs. Aryan, are you 100% sure that it is engineering and nothing else, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm
Very good.
going in engineering.
Very good. If you are 100% sure that it is, or whatever percentage sure that it is going to be engineering, this is how you should be planning. Oh, of course, how? We forgot about BITSAT. So therefore, if you plan well, there is no reason why you should not be able to crack at least one good IIT or NIT, Triple IIT, or other well-known private institutions. However, my request to you would be, no, but if it is engineering, it's okay. Just go ahead. If you don't want to have a backup here, and it is one of them, but please do not make the mistake of only and only waiting for the IITs, number one. Number two, if there is anything else, for example, you're a gifted design student also, or you could be looking at product design, industrial design, UI, UX, and many other design possibilities, then you could have also written an exam called UCED and so on. But if it is pure engineering, you safe. Just make sure private
Which
institutions.
exam?
Yeah.
Which exam did you say?
UCED, UCEED. It's conducted by IIT Mumbai. It's one of the best design entrance exams in the country. Aryan, just look at it. And by the way, not only you, Aryan, even if you happen to be a commerce or a humanities student, listen to this carefully. You could be a commerce, humanities, science student. All of you are eligible to write UCED exam. And you can study at the IITs, excepting maybe IIT Guwahati. Rest all IITs allow humanities and arts students to do design program. Yeah, next question, please. Mehek, go ahead.
And I just have an additional part. Like, what will be a better time to join the army? Like, if I want to serve the country, like, would it be
Again,
after college or would it be after?
my thing would be, you can write it now after 12th also, but if you're very interested in looking at engineering, go all out for engineering right now, and maybe once you finish, you can go for CDS, okay, which is after your graduation. All right, next quiz, next question,
Thank you.
please.
Bhavyanshi.
Sir, I really wanted to ask you about if you can please tell more about human resource management, and can you please clarify if it will be good to go for BCom first and then go for placement and then MBA, or one should go for BCom, MBA, and then go look for jobs around?
Very good. Good
Because
question. Good
because
question.
in that way I will lose job experience of 1 year.
Yeah, Bhavyanshi, very simple. It's not just BCom. If you're looking at, you should be cracking undergrad business administration programs in India. Good ones will be IIMs, NMIMS, Christ, Simbi, Delhi University, Flame, OP Jindal. There are many universities, Xavier's, IP University, Jamia Millia Islamia, that amazing universities in the country. All right. So therefore, you can do undergrad business administration. You don't have to do a BCom or an ECO or anything if your area is interest is towards management. When you do business administration, you should do general business administration. When you do that, in your final year, you choose your specialization. In final year, your specialization can be finance, operations, it can be IT, it can be sales, it can be HR, human resources. So say your final year, your specialization is human resources. After that, the next thing that you need to do is you can choose to do your work experience of a couple of years and then apply to the management institutions. Or you can straight away after this write your CAT exam and other exams in the country and do an MBA. But we will go there when the need arises. Right now, you should be looking at business administration in the country. Okay. Next question.
Thank you.
Quick.
Hello, sir. Am I audible now?
Yes, Ada, go ahead.
Sir, I want to ask that is it the right age to prepare for IELTS?
Why do you need to prepare for, you're talking about IELTS, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the right time if you are going for undergrad abroad. If you are not going for undergraduation right now, all right, then it will be after your graduation when you apply for postgrad, then either test of English as a foreign language, TOEFL or IELTS, that will be required later. So if you're straight away going after 12th, you are looking at international degree, then you will need to prepare for IELTS.
So what is the pattern to prepare for IELTS? How can we prepare it for IELTS right now?
Simple. Just go to YouTube and type IELTS preparation video, or go to Khan Academy, and that's it. Abhishek, you want to say something? Go ahead.
I do. So to prepare for IELTS in particular, right? All the 4 sections in particular, and student, this is for both IELTS and TOEFL, right? Please remember resources you can use from British Council and IDB because they run the test. They are the most reliable ones. Also, the day you register, they give the resources. So you don't have to buy anything. Once you pay for the test, they give you everything. For reading, writing, and listening in particular, there's so many practice tests available. Speaking, the only possible way of doing that is once you are looking at the topics that are available, only then you can start preparing. Simple as that. You don't need to even spend on any coaching. Don't do that. Not required. There's enough material available online for free.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you, Abhishek. And other most important thing, if you are not applying to any international institution and you don't plan to go, please do not waste your money and effort writing IELTS. Okay, clear. Next, please.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mehak
Okay.
Arya. Mehak
A very
Arya.
good afternoon, sir. So, my question is that how can I enhance my portfolio if I want to go for psychology as a career in the
What
future?
portfolio? Are you talking
Yeah,
about profile?
portfolio like the extracurricular activities or the internships and everything.
Mehak, you're in class 12th right now?
Yes, yes.
The only thing, will you be applying to the institutions that I've talked about, like the Flame and Kriya and OP Jindals, Ashokas, and so on? Are you thinking of applying?
Yes, yes.
If you're thinking
I
of
think.
applying to all of them, Mehak, then they'll be looking at, as I've already talked about, they'll be looking at your academics, which means that you will need predictive scores from your school this year and your previous academics. And then if you have a kind of an internship or a research project, or you've done some work in the psychology field, whether you've written blogs or you worked with your school in some capacity, basically to show why you're interested in psychology. You don't need everything that I've talked about, just a couple of things to just enhance your portfolio, right?
Okay.
And some certification program, that could be an add-on. All right. Yeah. Okay. Next question, please.
Thank you so much.
Sir, I have a very general question as we are talking about plan A and plan B. So, our focus is always on plan A. So, how to make our plan B then? I mean, a backup plan.
Like, tell me, when I spoke to Aryan, I think he was Aryan only, the engineering boy. What is
Yes,
his
sir.
plan B? His plan B and plan A is only in the engineering field. He says, I have to do engineering. I have to do it. So I am preparing for IITs. Now, someone will be like, oh, I am preparing for IITs because I'm preparing, I will crack it. No, it doesn't happen because there are tens of lakhs of students who are applying alongside. So what do? You apply to them. Your backup plan can be other institutions. Just in case this doesn't happen, I need to have a parking space or very good other private institution. That's a plan B. Now, for someone, it could be plan A is engineering, plan B is private institutions, plan C can be, if not this, I will also apply to law or management across domain. That could be plan C. So therefore, it's not a difficult thing to plan this. But your focus should be on plan A. However, what is plan B? Plan B is in case you don't make it, then there has to be something called fallback option. Next, please. Quick.
Yes, sir. We are running short of time, so we will take only 1 or 2 questions more.
Right. Yeah, because I have to share something else.
Kanika?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, Kanika, you're not ready. Someone else, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, basically, Mishti takes my word. Basically, I want to say, what is the plan B for law? Like, I have a very traditional way of thinking. If I'll get NLS Bangalore, then only I'm having a really good, bright future.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
You are being stupid. Okay, but take it in a this thing. Okay, you will be taking the biggest risk of your life by doing that. Are you there with me, Kanika? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I'll give you a simple example. So there is a school called DPS Arkepuram. All of you know that?
Yes.
There is a student, I coached her last year. She just wrote her 12th class board exam this year. She's got a 97% in her 12th class. Kanika, she came to me, I am the best girl in the country. I'm this, I'm that. It is only National Law School, this and that. I coached her and I told her, you should be applying to ALET, CLAT, couple of other colleges, just 4 colleges, and LSAT. She took my word. She wrote, but she did not write the other 2. She wrote LSAT, CLAT, and ALET. And she worked day and night. All right, she's one of the head girl, blah, 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 whatever dunya mein that she could do, she's done. LSAT, she cracked, she got through OP Jindal. OP Jindal gave her an offer, please deposit your fee. She called me. Should I be doing this? It is below my dignity to go to this kind of an institution. I said, are you crazy? Please apply, keep a backup. Just keep the seat. She said no. She let go of that seat. CLAT didn't happen. ALET didn't happen. She's out everywhere. 97%. She has no backup. OP Jindal, she went back to OP Jindal. OP Jindal said, thank you so much. Come back next year. Now she's dropping 1 year. One of the toppers dropping 1 year. Do you understand, Kanika?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, please throw all your traditional way of thinking outside. Let me ask you, Kanika, what if you apply to 4 or 5 institutions and you get admission? Your choice, don't go. But this is much better than having nothing in your hand.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
there?
Agreed.
Kanika, please, this is a request. Do not make that stupid move, any one of you, please. Because you will have to live with that 1 year saying, what do I do now? Next, your backup plan could be, depending upon your subjects, Kanika, you could do a bachelor's in that subject, park yourself in a college. You don't have to go to a law institute. You can park yourself in whatever subjects you have. Just pick up the honors program in a great institution, park yourself, write the exam next year if you want to. Go ahead. Okay?
So last question from Angad Singh Thakur.
Angad, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm a non-med student and I want to have a backup option outside engineering. What would you suggest?
No. Again, you're asking me a wrong question, Angad. I am nobody to suggest. Listen to this, students. My request to you will be, this suggestion should be, Angad, based on your personality, your aptitude, your emotional and social intelligence, your career orientation, your academics, and other activities, thousands of other things that you should be looking at. And that's why career guidance. Like, I don't even know how many of you have even taken the psychometric or aptitude battery. You may not have taken, you may not have even done tests to understand. There may be no reports on you. You're not talking to coaches. Please do that, Angad. Don't ask someone, hey, tum batao kya karu. No, Angad, that is a wrong way, my dear friend, because someone will give you some other idea and you'll be stuck. Do you get my point?
Yes, sir. Sir, I've been interested into UI and UX. So you were saying about UCEED. So is it too late to start preparing for it now?
Angad, so UCEED is one such test that you can prepare for. There are many other institutions, UID, Ahmedabad, SID, which is Symbiosis Pune, MIT Pune, there is Pearl, there are many other, Avantika, there is Anand School of Architecture. There are amazing programs that these institutes have vis-a-vis UI and UX and industrial, automobile, product, transport design, tons of designs, okay? My request to all of you, I'm sharing my email ID. I'm sorry I can't write. My name is Parikshit Dhanda. So the initials are PD. PD @mindler.com. If you want to get in touch, you want to ask me questions, you have very difficult areas that you're dealing with. For example, Angad,
Can you repeat your mail ID?
P for Punjab, D for Delhi. PD. Have you got PD?
Yes, sir.
@MIND, mind, LER, mindler.com. PD @mindler.com. Write to me. That's my direct email ID. And let me see how best we can help you. And dear students, please make the most of this. All of you have a wonderful opportunity to do something crazy. So I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we will conclude the session. So it was very interactive and knowledgeable session. So the key takeaways are very important. That is how the students should go after month of August, what subject they are supposed to choose, what stream they are supposed to choose, and the select of university, infrastructures, eligibility, selection criteria, and how they have to balance the study between the studies and entrances. And the very strategic importance is college selection, which, sir, you have mentioned. I hope the students must have cleared all the doubts which were there in the minds of the students that have been cleared. So I thank you, sir. I thank you. I would like to thank Mr. Parikshit, our resource person, for enlightening our students with this knowledge. So today's session was full of knowledge. So I hope every student will be benefited with this session. So I thank you once again, sir. Thank you for your advice and suggestions. And thank you, students, for making this session very interactive. Thank you, all of you.